prosecutor's office delineates whatever else that they wanted to put out. Our officer remains hospitalized in stable condition. There was a 43-year-old Galleon woman that was also a victim of a gunshot. She is in stable condition as well. I wanted to send a few thank yous out to the agencies that helped us. First, I wanted to say thank you to Mayor Rainey Hutchinson and his office for all of the support. Safety Service Director Chris Knapp. We have the Richland County Sheriff's Office assist at the scene, along with Mansfield Division of Police, Shelby Police Department, the Ohio State Highway Patrol, the Richland County ASORT team, which is our county-wide SWAT team, the Ohio State Highway Patrol SRT team. We had Springfield Township Fire Department that assisted with transporting the victims, and we had other departments that were there. I don't know who they were, but we just appreciate them being there. Finally, the public for the many heartfelt messages we've received, all the support and prayers. And lastly, our prayers go out to the family of our officer, who we are going to identify today, which was Dylan Bailey. Officer Dylan Bailey, D-Y-L-A-N B-A-I-L-E-Y. He is currently in stable condition, and we are kind of in the process of medically getting a diagnosis so we know how best to take care of him. And then, once again, prayers go out to his family and also the 43-year-old victim that was shot. I think with that, Mayor, did you want to say anything? Or?
It's a tragedy, and thank all along.
You can stand to the podium. Yeah, just so you can hear you. Okay.
It's a tragedy, and just having all the help of the surrounding agencies, and I'm glad both the victims are in stable condition. So,
sir. Okay, and with that, yeah.
Chief, Vance had several previous protection orders. Did he have any current protection orders against any of the women in the house?
At this time, we were only able to find a no contact order out of Crawford County Common Pleas Court, and that was out of a domestic violence that we're aware of, and it sounds like as a condition of his PR bond, he was given a no contact order. So typically, when you have a no contact order, the agency did what they had to do. They turned it over to his probation officer, and what we understood was they were going to issue a warrant for Vance this morning, but it just didn't. We didn't make it that far.
Was the order no contact order for any of the women in the house?
Yes, it was for the female victim.
That got shot?
Yes, correct.
And the chief, the female victim does not live at that home. Is that right?
That's
she was visiting that home.
That is correct.
And he drove there in a U-Haul truck. Is that right?
That's correct.
Do you believe, or is it? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but do you have a theory on what he went there for? What his intentions were when he went there?
I think that the situation speaks for itself. Obviously, there's some friction in the relationship. Yeah, he did drive there in a U-Haul van. Motive right now, it is kind of what it is. We have had a chance to interview Mr. Vance. That's part of the investigation. I would say that he was semi-cooperative with us. So at this time, we have seized that vehicle, and we're serving a search warrant on it to gather any evidence that's inside the U-Haul.
The charge of attempted aggravated murder, that is for the injury, the shooting of a police officer, is that right?
That's correct.
On this court, nobody has died.
That's correct.
Actually, his court document, he's charged with aggravated murder. So that
Okay. Yeah. No, it's just attempted, and then obviously there's a lot more charges that would be coming. There also would be another attempted aggravated murder or attempted murder on. We would be submitting for the female victim as well. Yeah.
So no one is dead.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Where was the officer shot? Where on his body, and then also where the woman was shot?
Both were shot in the lower extremities.
There's word on the bond. I sent it to you. It's
Oh.
$1 million.
Okay. So the bond has been set at $1 million, and that's for the one charge.
He's in the Richland County Jail, Tommy?
Yeah, that's correct.
But was that female his wife or a girlfriend? I apologize.
We believe it was. She's just a girlfriend. Yeah.
All right.
Just for clarification, the woman that had the no contact order, did she have previous protection orders in Richland County against him?
I don't believe so at this time. I think that all we have on record, or what I have seen so far, was just the no contact order out of Crawford County.
Chief, do you know if any of the children who were present at the time to include the 16-year-old hostage, are they any direct relation to him? Is he the father of any of these children?
I don't know for sure if that's the case. I would say that our officers did an absolutely amazing job, and when you see the video, you're going to see just what a terrible situation they were given. This was a situation that was unraveling, and there were children running out of the house. There were adults running out of the house. We didn't know if the suspect was coming out, and our officers were able to get as many people out as they could. There was a 16-year-old that was left inside of the home. She locked herself into a bathroom and did an absolutely amazing job of keeping herself where she was at, barricaded herself in the bathroom, and one of our sergeants that were on scene was actually able to talk to her and kept her calm. And I would attribute her survival because of her instincts and what she did. She's a hero, and also all of our people out there, and the sergeant that was on the phone with her kept her calm. And we had hostage negotiators that were there that talked to the suspect, and ultimately were able to get him to come out with no further injuries.
The 16-year-old, the kids that ran out, were they her siblings, and what are their ages?
I don't know. I don't know the ages on the children, but I'm going to give you an approximation. I would say they were anywhere from 6 years old to 10 years old, and I believe there's some familial bond there, but I don't know what that is.
Chief, the female victim, one more time, I'm sorry. 43, correct?
43-year-old.
And her condition?
She's in stable condition
And Tara just asked you, where was she shot?
in the lower extremities.
Thank you.
Can you talk just about, these are some of the most dangerous calls for officers. Can
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, typically when you go on a call, now this was a disturbance call at first, so typically domestic violence calls are some of the most dangerous, and that's because of the emotional attachment to it. So obviously when we go on domestic violence calls, we have the proper protocol set in place. We go through a lot of training to make sure that our officers are safe and that we can try to keep the people in the home as safe as possible by the way that we approach. So this was a situation where we were kind of caught off guard with what we had because we didn't know this domestic relationship. All we knew that what we had was a disturbance at that point. And like I said, and as you'll see in the body cam video, it was a very fluid, just a very stressful situation where our officers really had to get in and slice the situation they had up and try to figure out who the suspect was, try to get the kids back. And as you see, when we play this, our officers did they're heroes. I love them, and they just did an amazing job.
You want to play it, and we'll have more questions probably
Yeah,
after.
sure.
Are you able to turn that light out on the camera?
Can you get that?
Yeah.
Here's just a
Sorry.
switch right there.
You can-
You can just turn it. It'll be on the. Yep, there it is. All good? Okay. All set.
Come on, here it is. You're okay. You're okay. Go to a neighbor. Go to a neighbor. Go to a neighbor. Go to a neighbor. Please don't move. Please don't move. Please. Please don't move. Please don't move. Everybody out. Everybody out. Everybody out. Shoot me in the head. I got right. Put the gun down. Drop the gun. Put the gun down. Put it down. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. I got rifle. I got rifle. Drop the gun. Ah. No. Four shots fired. I'm hit. I'm hit. You all right? Get out here. Watch the door. Call to us now. Four shots fired. I'm hit. Watch the window. Watch the window. 20, get the cover. 20, get the cover. Get back.
And for the media that got here a little bit late, I can stay and do, you know, if you guys
Play
want.
that again?
Yeah, we can, yeah, we'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
So that was what we got redacted. So as you can see, this situation was absolutely the most nightmare situation can be presented with. And as if you would, the redaction was kind of hard, made it hard to see, but there was a house full of people coming out. There was at least 4 juveniles, and like I said, I would say their age was anywhere from 6 to 10 years old. So we're trying to get them moved out. And then when our officers confronted the suspect inside, he actually had the female that later was shot. He had her in front of him with a gun to her head. So we didn't have the ability to engage him at that point because of how he used her as a human shield.
I'm sorry, just to be clear, so he was inside the house, we don't see him at all during this video?
No, you don't see him. Now, you know, without the redaction, there's a very small moment where he passes by the door, and that's where you hear the shots fired. But it's just so fast, you'd have to slow it down to be able to see anything.
And then she was able to break free, and that's when she got shot?
That's correct. So she was able to break free, and as she was running out the doorway, she was shot. As our officers then continued to drive toward the suspect, he closed the door, and at that point, we wanted to get everybody out of that area. Obviously, the gunshot wound victim, and so we backed off, secured the perimeter, and then, you know, treated it as a barricade.
Would you describe this as an ambush with him coming to the house, and neighbors describe him peeking in windows, and when the door opened, he barged in?
Yeah, the charges that I would go after for this is a burglary charge, so it's obviously like a home invasion in my opinion. So absolutely, it was an unwanted guest, and we didn't have a lot of information to work off of because our response was so quick that you know. And once again, our dispatchers did an amazing job. You know, this is one of those calls that you train for, but you can never prepare for all of the other people that are there, you know. And so when we're engaged in a situation like this, a lot of times it's just an armed subject and us. This is a situation where you have people that are coming out. We couldn't get some of the people to move, so you saw as this guy was shooting outside from inside to out, you had the people that were standing that just sat down. So we had to take care of them. You know, we had to worry about them. So it was, when I watched this, my heart just sank because this is the worst. This is the worst situation you never want your officers to be involved in. And like I said, it was because of how, in my opinion, how they handled the situation. Their bravery is the reason why there's no fatalities.
Chief, why do you say it's the worst situation? Because of all the extra people around?
That's exactly right. Because as we get there, we are getting a description of the suspect, but you had 2 older males in the house, two older females in the house, and then all the kids. So as you get there, you know, we don't know for sure if the first person that comes out the door is the suspect. We were given information he had a gun. Well, then another male comes out. We're ordering everybody on the ground, and lo and behold, you know, to the back of the residence is the actual suspect with the gun. So you just don't know what you've got, and you got to, you know, as quickly as you saw that, you don't have a lot of time to try to figure out who is who and what you have to do. So the idea that our officers were able to get that sorted out and at least get the people out that we did immediately, and then once again, our negotiators did an amazing job, and were able to eventually negotiate him out with no further injuries.
And I just want for clarification, I'm sorry to ask you to repeat, but the original call, I think you earlier characterized as a disturbance.
So it was
You knew that he was armed. The officers, when they showed up, they knew that he was armed.
Yeah, we got several I think we got different 911 calls, and when the call came out, it was a disturbance, and I think eventually we were told that the male in question was violating a no contact order. So and there's a difference between a no contact order and a protection order. So a protection order is something we can arrest on immediately. A no contact order is something that if it's a condition of bond, then you would have to get a hold of the probation officer, and Crawford County Sheriff's Office did, and he was going to issue a warrant for Mr. Vance today. So, you know, all of these agencies did what they had to do. It just you know, turned out the way that it did. So.
How old is Officer Bailey?
Oh, God.
6 years, right?
Yeah, 6 years. I don't want to say the wrong age. He's a pretty big dude. He probably. Actually, I'll give you a little background.
That's his body camera.
That's his body camera.
As we hear him say,
Yeah.
I've been
Shot, yeah.
and he's still doing his job.
And I'll tell you, not only did he do that, and when we can get the video to you, what you're going to see is not only did he do that, but after he got pulled off and they put a tourniquet on his leg, he actually asked the officers to lift him up to where he could get his rifle in the car and still point the front door so he could protect everybody that was there. And he was given a life-saving award for actions in 2021, I think, or early 2022. We had a juvenile that was going to jump off a bridge up here on Lex Spring Mill, and we had 2 female officers that were there that were talking to the juvenile, and they held his attention, and Officer Bailey actually came up behind him and got him off the bridge and saved his life. So, just, salt of the earth kind of guy. 29 years old.
Anyone else?
Everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.